Hi, my friends. It's Ty Hicks, results coach and national influence and leadership trainer. Very excited to have you here for a few minutes so I can share with you what I believe is the X factor for creating radical change. And when I say radical change, what I mean is you being able to change massive amounts of your life in a very short period of time. Being able to have that real leverage moment where all of a sudden you're no longer just nudging yourself forward in little bite-sized increments, but instead palpable, real, lasting changes happening in a short period of time. Now, when I first discovered what was really the key to making this happen, it was a surprising thing for me at first, but then I started to realize just how much it made sense. Now, the key to creating radical change is actually the power of immersion. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is, have you ever had the experience of going to a conference or a workshop or something along those lines, and you're there for an extended period of time? You know, you probably left the city that you live in, you traveled somewhere else, you're there for a weekend, and what's happening, right? Your whole day is spent being immersed in new content. Your model of the world is being enriched vastly. You're getting new references, you're getting new strategies, you're getting inspired to take action, you're probably making plans, you're jotting down things, you're thinking and brainstorming about how things are going to be different when you leave there. You're surrounded by people who've got an elevated standard, right? And everybody is excited about creating personal change. Plus, you're learning from each one of those people. Not only are you learning from the conference and the content, but all of the little conversations that you're having are all inspired based off of what you all are sharing in that communal experience there for the weekend. And by the end of the weekend, you're ready to go. I mean, you are excited, you are pumped up, you're clear, you've got plans, you've got strategies, and now you feel like you've done a complete overhaul of your life. I mean, you feel completely rejuvenated, you feel like a completely new person, right? That's the power of immersion. Now compare that experience to, for instance, listening to an audiobook for 20 minutes a day over the course of 2 weeks, even if the audiobook is covering the exact same material as the conference would be. Now, you can obviously see why the first example is going to create a much deeper and more palpable change for you. And that question comes up of why, right? If it's covering the same content, why is the one so much more powerful? Well, because you're totally immersed, because you're essentially putting blinders on to the other things that are stressing you out or worrying you in life, and you're now able to completely dedicate yourself in a concentrated environment to absolutely building yourself up anew, right? You're also able to cumulatively build on whatever transformations it is that you're making. So as opposed to just covering one little area, you're covering that one little area, and then you're looking at the second area of your life and how that second area is going to be improved because you improved the first area, and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden you've completely changed your life geometrically as opposed to just additively. And that's the real power that an immersion experience provides. And so I share this with you because if you're looking to get radical change, my challenge to you is going to be you finding what your immersion experience is going to be, because I have found that there is no better path for securing true, radical, lasting change than to find an immersion experience that's going to provide that for you. So you might be asking, okay, Ty, well, how do I figure out what kind of immersion experience it is that I need to be seeking out? Well, the first thing I think you need to be looking for is an immersion experience that's going to challenge you. And when I say challenge you, what I mean is I want you to find something that's going to cause you to literally be a little uncomfortable. You've got to get outside your comfort zone. If going to a conference kind of scares you a little bit because you're going to be surrounded by thousands of people and you know you're going to be covering topics that you don't typically talk about, and work on in your daily life, and that's a little frightening to you, I think you need to make the push and make that happen. Now, by the way, there's plenty of different immersion experiences beyond just going to an event. Okay, you could also, go and work with a professional for an entire day, for example, where the entire experience is completely centered around you. That can become an even more powerful immersion experience because as opposed to a conference where they have to serve the needs of thousands of people, it's all centered on you. But it's for an extended period of time. You're covering a vast amount of details and content, and you're able to make sure that you're ingraining new strategies, new resources, and you're conditioning yourself to go back out into the world more powerfully. So there's all sorts of different immersion experiences out there that you could do. But the first thing you need to think of is it going to challenge you? Are you going to be pushed beyond where you are currently comfortable so that you necessarily grow? Because that's the only way growth happens, is if you get pushed outside of your comfort zone. Now, the second thing that I think you want to ask yourself when assessing what immersion experience could be right for you is it going to widen your model of the world? So in other words, are you going to acquire knowledge, resources, tools that you don't already have that are going to be important for you in terms of moving through the next chapter of your life as powerfully as possible? Is it tangibly going to help you do exactly that? Is it going to provide you with new references, right? So if you're trying to grow your business, are you going to be going into an immersion experience where you're going to be surrounded with individuals who've got strategies, personal standards, and insights that are going to help you model your widen your model of the world of how you grow your business? That's what you're looking for here. That's the real power of the immersion experience. Now, third, is it going to help you get clarity? Now, there's a lot of conferences, there's a lot of events, and there's a lot of coaching programs out there, for example, that are not structured. They don't have a system. They don't necessarily have an end outcome that they're providing a journey to help you get to, okay? And those are the ones you want to stay away from, in my opinion. Can they still be valuable? Sure. But you don't want to be in an immersion experience that's random. You want to be in an immersion experience that's intentional and that has a dedicated outcome that you can understand, that's kind of predefined. And ideally, you're going to find an immersion experience that you can help customize the outcome for. One that you can help influence so that you make sure that you're able to get exactly what you need out of it. That's going to be the most powerful type of immersion experience for you. But at the end of that experience, you want to make sure that you're going to have clarity, right? You're going to want to make sure that you walk out of there not confused, not just having a bunch of ideas rattling around in your head, but that you have a system, that you're ready to go, that you have real direction, and you know now what you need to do exactly. That's what you want to make sure you have. Now, fourth, I really think that you need to make sure, again, that the immersion experience is producing that specific outcome. So if you're going to try to improve your business, what is the promise of the immersion experience? Is it to help you increase, the income of your business by over $100,000, in 5 years, right? Like, what is the outcome that you're going for? And by the way, most immersion experiences are not going to be able to promise a sort of outcome to every single person, that would apply to each one of them, because everybody is coming from very different backgrounds. But they may be able to help you define exactly what outcome you're going to achieve by the end of it. And that's going to be what makes it as powerful as possible. Now, in my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you an invitation to join my immersion experience. Now, this is application-based and invitation only, because I only take serious people for this experience, because it takes an entire day of my time, and I need to make sure that the individuals who are going to be signing up for this are the ones who are really serious about making real radical change in a short period of time, and that they're the right fit for it. So if you think that you might be the right candidate for it, I encourage you to apply, and then that'll go through the review process, and we'll see if you're somebody that might make the cut for the program. But if you're looking for that immersion experience that's going to help you radically transform every area of your life, and that's going to give you the clarity and is going to help you raise your standard and move more powerfully through life in your next chapter, then this might be something worth looking into. So keep an eye out. In my next email to you, I'm going to be sending you an invitation for you to check it out, and you can see if it's something that you want to put your name in the running for, okay? So I hope that you found this valuable. Regardless of whether you decide to try to get into my immersion program or whether you decide to find one on your own, you need to schedule one. You need to pick one and make it happen. Because here's what happens. You could view this video and say, okay, yeah, Ty, that sounds cool. I'm definitely going to do that. But if you do not pick something right now, if you do not say, okay, in the next 6 months, I am definitely doing this experience, then you're just going to kick the can down the road. It won't happen, and you will completely sacrifice all of that potential change that you could create for yourself. So don't do that. The most powerful high performers that I've met are ones that always have their next immersion experience lined up after they've done their first one. That way, they know there is always something on the calendar that's going to cause them to grow exponentially, and that's going to push them outside their comfort zone that much more. Don't fall prey to the law of diminishing intent. If you tell yourself you're going to do it later, you won't. You just won't. So again, keep an eye out. In a couple of days, I'll be sending you an email with an invitation for this program, and you can apply for it and see if you're somebody that will be a good candidate for it. But regardless, go out there, be purposeful, be passionate, be excited, and go out and find your immersion experience. I'll talk to you again very soon. Take care.